Yeah.
Okay, Matt, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, awesome. Good afternoon, KW South Bay. How's everyone doing? Great. Awesome. Can you believe it's June already? Summertime. Halfway through the year already, right? Are you on pace? Are you behind? Or have you excelled in your production this year? I can't believe it's already June. So thank you very much for being here. I hope the food is good. It looks and it smells really good. So you guys ready to get started? Yeah. Awesome. We still got some people in the cafe getting their food. So let's go ahead and get started. Next slide. Okay, there we are. So our mission is to provide agents with a place where they will be empowered, trained, and motivated to experience growth, wealth, and a legacy that allows them to live their best life possible. I believe when the values of your own company align with your own beliefs, you know you found your professional home. And our vision to achieve amazing professionals and personal development so that KW South Bay remains the agency of choice. The agency of choice. The agency of choice. All right. Awesome. All right, let's continue. Next slide. All right, we want to thank all of our newest agents, and guess what? Stephanie's on this list. So she got a real estate license, so we're super happy about that. So some of the amazing agents, Samuel, where's Samuel?
Right here.
Awesome, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's Samuel Hott. I'm very grateful for the opportunity. I hope I can meet everyone's expectations.
Yes.
So thank you very much. I think it'll be wonderful to meet you.
Awesome. Then we have Camila. Is Camila here? Don't see here. Elena, is Elena? Yes, hi Elena. Let's give a round of applause. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I said no, it's nominated for Oscar. No, the speech contest. Is anyone here wants to buy a house? Right.
So, welcome to the family. Awesome. And then we have Paloma. So interesting story with Paloma that I'd like to share. So last year around October, she came in here with one of our agents and said, hey, I'm looking into getting my real estate licenses. I said, fantastic, that's great. Where are you on the process? She says, well, I'm almost done with my schooling, right? Her 3 certifications in order for her to qualify to take the state exam. I said, wonderful. But she says, I have to wait till December. I says, why do you have to wait till December? She goes, because I'm 17. She's 17 in high school. So she started her real estate schooling while she was 17. And as soon as she turned 18, she immediately took the state exam. It took a while for her to get processed, but ultimately she got her real estate license and she joined the office. And she also got invited to UCLA. So she's going to be going to UCLA on top of it. She graduates, if not this week, next week, and off she goes to UCLA. So awesome stuff. So if you happen to see any of the agents and then Chiquita as well, please say hello, welcome to the family. All right, let's continue. Next slide. Okay, our KW anniversary. So if you're on this list, can you stand up? Any of you for the month of June? Look at all these amazing KW anniversaries. Awesome, congratulations. How long have you been with KW now? First year, okay. So many years to come, right? Anyone else on this list? Okay, well, let's continue. Next slide. And then now we have the birthdays. Look at the list of birthdays. Look at the amazing list of birthdays. Just kidding. Yeah, it's my birthday month too as well.
Hey, birthdays too.
I don't think we did. We didn't do May. Okay, Natalie, we gotta include the May. They're saying that we didn't do the birthdays for May. So it might have been when she was out last month. So we apologize, but also we're including the May birthdays as well. So if you happen to see any of the agents on this list, please wish them a happy birthday, okay? And yes, you can wish me a happy birthday. I took you out. So when's the party? Yeah, well, you know, it hits on a Saturday, so let's have a great birthday. I wanted to take you to some great news from KW International. So now KW has partnered up with Canva. That's exciting news, folks. Does anyone use Canva at a very high level? Yeah, so now it's integrated as part of your KW command. So you're going to be able to do designs and all of the amazing stuff that Canva has to really market and showcase yourself. So Canva Enterprise Access, your own upgraded Canva account, including with your KW tools, at no additional cost. MLS integrations, seamless create a deploy marketing right for your listing pipeline, instant access to professional design materials, excluding to KW affiliate agents, and then in-hand support, regular template drop tools to keep your marketing sharp. And again, at no additional cost. So this is amazing. Now we had a smaller version, but now it's the full integrated part of Canva. So those are really good news to hear. Stay to learn a little bit more if you want to know a little bit more of this integration that's going to be happening. You know, and if you have any questions, by all means, please reach out to us. Awesome. All right, let's continue. Let's introduce Chrissy Buscemi, her partner, for providing amazing support. Thanks again for always taking care of us.
That wasn't very good, so I don't know. My name is Christy Buscemi. I'm with Old Republic Home Protection and my NHD National Hazard Disclosure. And today I am actually celebrating my 20th anniversary. Now. And I just wanted to say thank you. I feel so grateful to be part of this amazing family. I think it's really important that you know who you're in business with and who you're entrusting your clients to. So I wanted to introduce my partner in crime over here. Ashley, she's over here to help us for lunch today. She's not only my partner in crime, but also my future daughter-in-law. I not only have good taste in food that I can have with your clients, but I have great matchmaking skills as well. When I met her, she was with a boyfriend and my son was with a girlfriend. I said, hey, I'm sorry, but you're meant to marry my son. And she laughed and they laughed. And then maybe 6 months later, I get a call, hey, Mom, guess what? Let me guess. And they were dating and now they're getting married. So when you see her floating around the office, feel free to call her Care Bear. She beams rainbows and you're in good hands no matter which one of us you get. And my only passion is really taking care of our homeowners. And I know that I cook for you guys and you might associate me with the lady that brings you home good food, but I sell home warranties and NHDs. So if there's everything that you're concerned about anytime, please never hesitate in calling my cell, emailing me, texting me. Feel free to hand out my cell, email to any of your clients, whether they're a buyer or a seller. You know that they're going to be treated with care and respect. And if there's ever an issue before you get red hot, just send me the property address with the phone number of whomever I need to call. And my team stays with them all the way until completion, because I would love to tell you that because you're doing business with me, you'll never have an issue. But I'd be lying to you, right? Because we don't control these technicians. And the thing that sets me apart from everyone else is how I move forward when there is an issue. So please never hesitate to give it to me straight and let me help you, because that's where I really shine. And if you think the food is good, just imagine how well treated your clients are are going to feel. And that's what I really want to demonstrate for you when I bring in all this food is, I'm willing to go the extra mile, no matter if it's your clients or keeping you full. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you give me a call and I'm here to help. I just need to know what you need. Thank you.
Utilize all of the support and affiliates, she's one of our top VIP affiliates here in the office, and all of the goodies and especially the food that she provides. So thank you very much.
If she could do it
Congrats.
herself.
Yeah, she does it all herself. Maybe she'll start a catering business, so. But again, Chrissy, thank you very much for sponsoring our lunch today. Let's give her a round of applause. Awesome. All right, well, let's continue. Listing, pitches, buyer needs and wants. Anyone have any coming soon? Yes, Eric. And Eric, come up here.
Yes, hi,
Hi.
thank you. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom in West Torrance, 1,100 square feet on Entrado Park, West Torrance. Right up to the field, the baseball fields. There'll be brokers open tomorrow. And not tacos, but there'll be an ice cream bar. So you can ice cream social tomorrow in West Torrance. Anything you want to acquire, or do you already have?
What's the asking and what's the amenities?
The asking is 1,429,000, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2-car garage,
Okay.
park access right from your backyard.
Beautiful.
What's the frost rate on this?
It's Delamo and Entrado. What, West High? West Torrance High School? When you see West Torrance High School, you're getting close.
Yeah.
And then, thank you.
Awesome. Aaron, come up here. Speak loud for the people on Zoom, please.
Sound good. So our fix and flip project's coming on the market this month. It's gonna be in Park Hills Heights between Crenshaw and Slaughton on the top left quadrant. Right under Angel Vista. It's gonna hit the market for about 1.3, 1.4. 4-bed, 3-bath, 2,000 square feet, single family home.
Awesome. Thank you, Eric. Eric, do you have
Yes.
okay, yeah, please.
So please join us tomorrow at open house from 12 to 3 at 2345 West 232nd Street in Torrance. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, fully remodeled, redone all the way, and it's ready for the new buyer to move in. So let me know if you have any questions.
Awesome. How did you get this listing?
Open house,
Open house.
actually, at my open house, the seller walked in and I just started a conversation, pursued him, and then he just told me that he had the property. It's like, okay.
So you're telling me, Farah, that you hosted an open house and you picked up a listing?
Yes.
Wait a minute. I get a lot of agents saying that open houses don't work.
They do work.
So-
They do work if you work them right.
Okay. So the secret is working them right, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, asking for business.
Because they could buyers, sellers, for leases, anything could comes out of,
Yeah.
And it's a long-term relationship established with
Of
people.
course. Awesome. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yes.
Buyer need for a duplex, $1.1 million of the budget.
Duplex.
In Los Angeles area or in the San Fernando Valley area.
Okay, LA area, South Bay and the valley as well. So if you have any duplex, awesome. Beautiful. Anyone? Yes,
I
Rosie.
just have a lease. I have a condo in Carson. It's in the Avalon Green, gated, and it's a 2-bedroom, 1.25 of a bathroom, and it's $2,500 a month. I'm gonna show it on Sunday between 2 and 3. If you have any plans?
Beautiful. Thank you, Rosie. Anyone else? Okay, let's go ahead and continue. Thanks, everyone. All right, now we have First American Title with Ben Shu. Let's give him a round of applause. What's up, Ben? How are you? Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm Ben with First American Title.
I normally come out here and talk to you guys a lot about, marketing stats and whatnot. Today I'm actually going to spend a couple of minutes talking about title of all things, what we actually do. And wanted to share with you a few things that we've kind of come across recently and still get a lot of questions about. So I just wanted to kind of forewarn you. And the theme is actually going to be acronyms. So first one I'm going to talk about is POAs. Okay, power of attorneys. We all know about POAs. In a property or in a transaction, if you get a listing, if the property is in a trust, the POA does not come into play. Okay, most trusts do not allow for POAs because it's redundant. The purpose of a trust is to tell you if somebody can't act, who is next in line to act on behalf of that person or on behalf of that trust. So unless when you're doing estate planning, a POA is really for, your medical directives and finance and everything else. Okay, so when selling property, unless the trust explicitly states that a POA can be used and names that the attorney in fact, we do not use POAs for when the property is in a trust. Okay, we've been seeing those a lot recently. Okay, staying on the estate planning line here. The other acronym that you guys might hear a lot about is TOD, T-O-D. That is a transfer upon death deed. Okay, these came out, I would say about 5 years ago. California started using the TOD deeds to allow people to name their beneficiary of the property instead of having to go through estate planning. Okay, how the TOD deed works is if the person doesn't want to do a trust, they basically fill out a form and states that, I, Ben Shu, upon my passing, will give my property to son. Okay, what needs to be done is upon the passing of the owner of the property, okay, the beneficiary is supposed to record an affidavit of death for the original homeowner that gave them the property. Okay, this serves as notice that person A has passed, I'm now the beneficiary. Okay, after the recording of that affidavit, there's supposed to be a 120-day redemption period. Okay, this allows for any other potential beneficiaries to come and contest that transfer. Okay, when you are in escrow and there is a TOD deed, you're not supposed to be able to close within those 120 days. Okay, there are exceptions that can be made that we can make from a title perspective. These are done on a case-by-case basis, depending on the situation. So if you have something like that, give me a call. Let me know, and then we can kind of work through it and underwrite it and help you out with it. Okay. Third and last acronym that I'm going to throw at you is RON, R-O-N, which stands for Remote Online Notary. Okay, beginning of this year, state of California has finally allowed for recognized remote online notaries. We've actually been doing these since COVID. Okay, since 2021, we were the only title company that was beta testing the RON system or the RON recordings with the county. So we've been, whereas every other title company kind of jumped into the game earlier this year, we've been doing it for the past 5. Okay, so we have and what a RON does is allows for basically a notary by Zoom. Okay, as we all know, our sellers love to travel when they're about to close escrow or when they're in escrow.
Never fails.
Okay, never fails. I'm going to be in the remotest part of Australia that you can find, and I'm going to be there for a month. Okay, so the remote online notary basically allows for them to sign their docs virtually. All they need is a internet signal and be able to jump on a Zoom call with the notary and get their documents notarized. Okay, so the only requirement is that they have to be a U.S. citizen. If they are not a U.S. citizen, we can still do it. It just requires a lot more background work to be done and underwriting approval. But again, if you come across that situation, let me know. We'll underwrite it for you, deal with it, run through it and get it to go. Any questions?
I have questions.
Yeah.
Okay, Rosie, you go first. No, you, ladies first, please.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So the TOD is not like a will. Is there a document that they have to be notarized? Or-
Yes. Document has been notarized, not like a will. It's literally a one sheet that says my house on 123 Main Street, I am the owner. Upon my passing, I give it to Rosie Riera.
So it's not notarized,
It is notarized.
No, but if it's not.
You can't even record it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Acknowledgement? It's an acknowledgement, right?
An acknowledgement?
Notary?
Yeah, notary acknowledgement.
That's it, nothing.
Yes, signed, notarized, yes, and then recorded.
Remotely finger, you not.
Yes, yeah, I mean, you have to get it signed and notarized and recorded. Questions in that?
Yeah.
So if they do the affidavit of death and they, transfer the information, do they have to assume the loan, like the new person has to assume
Oh,
the
yeah.
loan? And if they
Yeah.
can't assume the loan, cause I have a person that I'm dealing with, he is not able to assume the loan because he hasn't been approved by the bank. How then do you handle that? Can he still sell it or?
He can't sell it. The beneficiary will be able to sell it if they cannot make the payments. If they can't maintain the payments or assume the loan. The payments have to be maintained or else the bank's gonna foreclose on them. Or, better yet, they assume the loan and then, they can live there and the loan and property is now under them.
So he's been paying the loan for a year now,
Mhm.
since the mother has passed, but no bank will allow him to assume the loan because they're saying he don't make enough money to pay the loan, but he have proof of payments of the loan. Of paying the loan, so he is now being forced to keep the name in the mom's. Keep the property in the mom's name or sell the house, and he really wanna keep the property.
Do you know how title is currently vested? Is it in the mom's name?
It's in the mother's name, it's not in the trust, it was done
That
as a.
if he were to, so he basically. He basically can continue living there as long as the payments continue to be made, okay? We're gonna go into a little deeper title right now, but I think this is good information for everyone. Basically, if somebody passes, there's a caveat in everybody's loan docs that the bank can use the acceleration clause and call the loan dead, okay? But I've been doing this for 20 some odd years. I've never seen a single lender invoke that acceleration clause as long as the payments are being made. Okay, so this is kind of off the record, keep making it, should be fine. If he were to ever try to sell or refinance because the property is in mom's name and mom's name only and she's passed, the property's gonna need to be probated. Okay, you're looking at a probate situation. If she has a will, it's called a Hegstead petition, and it's basically like a short probate. Okay, instead of like 6 months to a year, you're looking at about 4 to 6 months, and it's, yeah.
So, last question, so if he pays off, cause it's only like $37,000 left on the house. If he
Okay.
pays it off, how then can the title be transferred to him? It's still in the mom's name.
Still
And
has
he
to be
didn't do
probated.
that? Still probate,
Yeah,
huh?
You're just paying off the loan. You're not, it's just the loan itself. Yeah.
yeah.
Good point. Good question. Hold on. Pamela, you had a
Want
question?
to know is the notary, online notary, when does that go into effect?
So California officially recognized remote online notaries January 1st of this year.
Of this year.
Thank you.
Yeah, we started doing it when COVID struck, this was probably like October of 21. Was when it came out and we started doing it with the county.
Is there training I'm a commissioned notary, but I didn't know that there was Ron for California, I haven't got the information from the NNA. So is there a new training that we have to get certified for?
Contact the Notary Association
Okay,
and they'll probably tell you what you need to do.
okay, thank you.
Yeah,
I'm
question.
not gonna articulate this properly, but is the only way to avoid the, I guess it's called tax gains or whatever, is that in trust or do like I know it's through trust, but is there another option?
Like capital gains taxes,
Yeah, that's
where you're referred to like step up basis. So upon the passing of the parent, the beneficiary, the child will get a step up basis or the spouse, and it basically resets the capital gains threshold or the capital gains floor at the current market value at the time of death.
So to avoid paying that, you would need the trust, right?
Well, no, even if you don't have a trust, you get the step up.
You're
Okay.
the spouse.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're as long as you're the spouse or the
Oh, he
child.
doesn't have a spouse.
Yeah, if you're a child. Yep.
So it's only for a spouse or a child, not a brother and sisters.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Juras can be done remotely also.
Durats, yes. Anything that requires a notary.
Yes, Joanna.
When you talked about the transfer of death, and if you do list a beneficiary, but if the beneficiary predeceases that person, I'm assuming it goes into probate, but so they list 2 or 3 beneficiaries, or do they only allow you to list 1?
I believe the form itself allows you to list up to 4. Let me follow up, I'll follow up with you on that, but just trying to recall what the form looks like, I remember 4 lines.
Okay, but it avoids probate by doing that, though.
It avoids probate by doing that, yes.
Thank you.
I'm a commissioned notary, and for anybody that needs to know about the RON, I've been doing it, I've been doing that since the first of the year. And what you need to do is reach out to the NNA and get yourself a digital, signature, like a digital stamp, a digital notary stamp. If you just reach out to the NNA, they'll be happy to help you with, getting that. So it's very
Thank you.
easy.
Awesome. A lot of questions today.
Yeah, good one.
Well, I still do have a question regarding the first question you have of the power of attorney.
Yes.
Most of us probably don't know what the purpose around a power of attorney is.
Mhm.
When is it utilized? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Of course. So with the power of attorneys are basically utilized when somebody cannot sign for themselves for whatever reason, okay? Most of the time, it's for conveniences, okay? Again, people like to travel when selling a house. So I'm gonna be out of country, I'm gonna sign power of attorney over to my son or someone else, my assistant, whatever, to sign on my behalf, since I'm gonna be away and convenient to sign a notary, okay? This is where you have to be careful. A lot of times, people want to use a power of attorney because somebody is now mentally incapacitated, okay? That's a big problem. The problem with that is, so it is possible to use, okay? But basically, title is gonna require a couple of things. They're gonna require, number one, we need to know that, the signer is actually incapacitated. And number 2, title is gonna need to know that the person was of sound mental capacity during the signing of that power of attorney. And how that's done is by a doctor's note, okay? So if you have a power of attorney that's like 5 years, 4 years, 10 years old, okay, we're gonna need a doctor to substantiate that at the time of the signing of that POA, this person was capable of making their own decisions.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. Title does prefer, if you're gonna use a power of attorney, at the end of the day, we can use a durable or any other power of attorney form. But what is preferred by the county and by title is what's called a special power of attorney, which is a one-sheet power of attorney that actually lists the property and assigns this person power of attorney for just this one property, okay? And that's the form that the county likes to record, because with every power of attorney, we do have to record it, because that explains why person A, Ben Shu, is not signing for himself when giving away his property. All right.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah, that puts it very clear to me. Okay. Any other questions for Ben? Awesome, Ben. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me as always.
Awesome. All right, well, let's go ahead and continue. If I can get Mr. Fred Howard up here, we can talk a little bit of.
Hey, everyone.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on AI. Okay? AI has given you the ability to have no excuses as a real estate agent. Okay? You can't say, I missed the productivity class, so I don't know what to do. You can't say, I don't know what to do in real estate, because all you need to do, everything your productivity coach, your mentor has told you, guess what? ChatGPT already has it. If y'all don't believe me,
Watch this. Don't you know that you can talk to ChatGPT and they'll give you the answer? Are y'all ready? Okay, real quick. Hello, this is Fred, and I'm a new agent. I want to know, how can I get started in my real estate business?
Hey, Fred. Welcome to the real estate world. Getting started strong is all about building a solid foundation. Since you're with Keller Williams, make sure to dive into their resources and training. Here's a quick roadmap. First, spend some time each day on KW University to get familiar with the basics and advanced concepts. Then start networking, attend local real estate events, and introduce your
I want some right now business. How can I get right now business?
Got it. For right now business, focus on immediate lead generation strategies. Start by reaching out to FSBOs and expired listings. These are homeowners who are already looking to sell. Offer them something valuable, like a free market analysis or a quick consultation to build rapport. Also, host open houses for other agents' listings to meet potential buyers directly. And don't forget to leverage your personal network. Let everyone know you're in the business and ready to help with any real estate needs.
Okay. But I want business today. How can I get business today?
All right, if you need business today.
Yes, I need business today.
Got it. To get business today, start with your immediate network. Call or text friends, family, and acquaintances to let them know you're available for any urgent real estate needs. Ask if they know anyone looking to buy or sell.
Okay, you gotta get my point. Okay, I do three things with real estate, 3 ways to make money: wait for it, pay for it, or go after it. Your sphere of influence is you're waiting for it. That means you're constantly telling them about your business. That means that when down the line they need somebody for their real estate business, they're going to call you. When you stop communicating them about your business, guess what? They forget about your business. Now, people say, well, I want to do a podcast. Guess what? I'm going to give you one tool that can literally create a podcast for you with 2 people talking. All you need to do is upload a PDF and it'll talk on your behalf as a podcast. It's called Notebook LM. It's a free resource. Notebook LM. Then, if you want to find anything outside of ChatGPT, meaning you want to go deep, meaning you want to find something about a seller or a buyer. Now, this is scary. You go to perplexity.com. Perplexity AI will actually dig beyond Google and get you information regarding that person. So if you want to know about a person before you're going to meet them, go to Perplexity. Put in and say, what do you know about this person? It'll tell you their likes, their dislikes, all of that stuff. That's scary, isn't it? But use it to your advantage. Don't go to sleep on AI. And that's all I got to say.
Awesome. I wanted to ask a question for you, Fred. Can we use AI as a tool to have like a mentor or a coach per se?
Yes.
I mean, if you're having dialogue and conversations with it, can AI be your coach in real estate?
Yes, just right before I came, I went into ChatGPT and I have a MAPS book that says Productivity Guide for Productivity Coaches. And I said, do you know anything about this book from MAPS Coaching? And it says, yes, I know everything about it. And then I began to ask it questions and it actually pulled up everything that was in the book. That means that you can get a book even without purchasing it. So if you need a coach, you can say, hey, ChatGPT, my name is Fred. I want you to coach me on how to get my first 3 deals. But guess what? You got to do what it says do. Everything you heard it say is nothing that you have not heard from your coach, from your mentor, from your team leader. It's something that you've always heard. It does not change. Real estate business comes from you opening your mouth, telling people about who you are, because if you're going to make money in this business, it's nobody's fault but your own if you don't. True fact. Okay? You just gotta go out there and get it.
Beautiful. Thanks again, Fred. Let's give him a round of applause. All right, let's continue. Next slide. We got Fernando Diaz giving us a mortgage update. Let's give him a round of applause too, please. And his bag of goodies, as always.
Explain goods to you guys again as we get things going. So thank you, Brett, for showing us how we're all going to be eliminated from our jobs. That was very enlightening. Yeah, hang on real quick here. So real quick, guys, you guys know that right now, which is important, the big budget tax battle is happening in Washington. And that is truly, like I've always said, the elephant in the room. The markets are waiting for this to get resolved before we're going to truly see some rate relief. Okay, because what's happened is there's been a complete disconnectivity of what the treasury market does, where as opposed to used to behave in the past. And it's just watching this bill and how it's going to get done and how we're going to cut spending and what we're going to do. Okay, and so for the sake of having a nice long run of decent low rates, creating more affordability for everybody, et cetera, it is important that they do the right thing. What that is, I don't know. You know, I'm not in that office in there. But hopefully you guys are watching because it is important. And as you can see, starting yesterday, there's a lot of bang, 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 which is good because, you know, they're pointing out some of the things. Now, to give you a little history on that, when is, and Simon's going to throw something at you, who was president the last time we had a balanced budget?
Lincoln.
Yes, right here. And by the way, it was in his second term, not his first term.
I know.
All right. So he got together with his good buddy.
Someone said
Newt Gingrich. You guys remember Newt Gingrich, the Speaker of the House? He was on the opposite party. Well, they decided to put everything aside and basically the country comes first and we're going to figure this out and get a balanced budget. And they did. Okay, so we had 4 years of a balanced budget. Now, since then, 2021, let's say, till now, we've been putting a lot on the company credit card. Okay, so 25 years later, all of a sudden, our credit card is full. And you know how they keep raising the debt ceiling? That's just extending the credit card, right? That's calling MasterCard and going, hey, can you give me another $2,000 on my card this year? Okay, you know, whatever, reapply, done, right? And they keep doing it and doing it, okay? You see how that's bad? How that eventually, now we're getting called on it. So hopefully this turns out in a positive direction. Anyway, that's enough about that. Now, someone's gonna throw more goodies at you because here's what we're gonna do. Here it is. Now watch, I'm gonna show you something that's interesting to me, how the media works. So today, on the real estate section of CNBC, right, here's the title. Mortgage demand drops for the third straight week, even as interest rates ease a bit, right? So negative. Now watch this. Okay. If you read the article about 60% of the way down, here's the facts. Applications for a mortgage to purchase a home fell 4% for the week, but we're up 18% higher year over year. So we're 18% better today than we were last year. So shouldn't this be a positive article? But it comes out negative, right? So that being said, here we're gonna throw the candy out. Fannie Mae revised their housing economic outlook. Okay, it's based on everything they're seeing, all the shenanigans. Now, let's just talk about rates. We forecast mortgage rates to end 2025 at what rate? The end of this year, what do you think Fannie Mae says we're gonna be? On a conforming rate, right?
6.5.
Yeah.
Wrong.
6.25.
Wrong.
Six.
Come on, somebody give me something. Give me a rate.
6, 7, 5.
4.5.
All right, who said 6?
6.
I said 6.
All right, give him a candy. 6.1
Who said 6?
over there. Now, if you think about it, we're basically at 6.9 today, if you want to look at the national average, depending on points and all that stuff. So that's a big decrease, guys. Okay, that's a big help. Now, where do you think that you predict us to be the first quarter of 26? Who's got a number for me?
6.5.
5.8.
5.8.
Who said 5.8? Right there, bam. Right on the head. So their outlook going forward is for a nice downward slide of rates. You know, hopefully that will happen, you know, and I hope that things are going in that direction because that will create, as you guys know, a more of a, I should say, activity for all of us. Okay, so that's a very positive thing. So let's hope that happens. And that's pretty much it for me. Beautiful. We already did the car thing last week, so.
Yeah,
Do
awesome.
you guys remember what's the percentage of people, households that can buy a single family residence in California?
11.
16.
Give it that, it's close. 17. Remember that? 17. Here we go. We're close, but you're paying attention then. And I think Ed wants to say anything else.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Fernando. Okay, let's continue. Next slide, please. All right, so broker updates. I provided this update yesterday at the Long Beach office. And it's the next slide. It's all of the new forms release happening this month on the 24th. There's 90 plus new forms and revisions to all of the car forms that we have. As a reminder, every year, twice a year, happens in June and it happens in December. We have revisions. So I wanted to give you a summary of some of the new stuff happening. Also, and I confirmed, and it was a conversation that Manny was sharing with the group yesterday too, on compensation on the MLS. And I have some great stuff to share with you after the little presentation here. So let's go next slide with the quick summary. I'm not going to go deep into it because there's 90 forms here, but I wanted for you just kind of get an idea. Now, I will be emailing it all to the office as well, so you actually have the summary. On top of that, if you're members of the California Association of Realtors, you have access to all of this information. On top of it, while we're waiting till the 24th to get these new revisions, you can also get the redlining of all of the documents as well, okay, for you to review. Now, they started off with draft number 1, and I believe in some of the forms, they're already in draft number 3. So there's, always going to be changes, and everything that I taught now is subject to change by the week of the 24th, okay? But it's good to have this because the way the California Association of Realtors emphasizes you must, and I'll repeat, you must use the most current documentation because they may not give you legal advice if it's a dated form. So if you reach out to Carlego, they may ask you which particular form. Okay, so it has to be within the most current stuff. This is why it's very important for all of you, to be updated with all of the forms. Okay, so the additional agent acknowledgement, the buyer affidavit, the addendums, and it does provide you with a brief description of the form and how the form will be revised. Next slide. Here's some of the forms. If it says new, that's a new document that is brand new to car forms. So the amendment to prior disclosure to be used to make changes to the TDS or SPQ has advised about rights to cancel. Okay, this is great news for those last minute items that we have to disclose, right? We provided the seller, we provided the buyer with all of the seller disclosures, right? And then in between that time, there's something else that pops up, right? How do we disclose that? Well, this form is going to be part of that disclosure, all right? Because I get questions all the time is, what do we do if something new, a material fact about the property, how do we do it? We usually put it in an addendum. Well, now they created a form for that specific, and that's in attachment to the TDS and the SPQ. Make sense? Okay. Additional signature addendum, they just reformatted to include bundle forms. Next slide. The broker compensation advisory, they modified to reflect the buyer representation requirements. The BCO, there wasn't any big changes, but they put an explanation on appraisal contingency, buyer early occupancy, BEO, buyer investigation advisory, and buyer investigation election. just added some additional stuff such as utility, sewer, internet, and solar panel systems. Okay, next slide. The BRBC, the Buyer Representation Agreement, added language to remind brokers of limited compensation to amounts specified in the agreement, right? That hasn't really changed since all the changes that happened last year, right? A little bit of confusion last year when we transition into what the norm is now, right? And I think most of us kind of understand and comprehend where we stand when it comes to negotiations, putting stuff on the MLS when it comes to compensation, right? And all the fun stuff in part of the negotiations. The BUO and the BXA and the CCA, just signature acknowledgement. Okay, the CCSPA, change in the changes on the RPA. And a lot of these forms, you're never going to utilize or use, but it's there. There's over 350 different forms that we have that you can utilize for a purpose depending on the scenario and the situation you're in. Okay. The cancellation of buyer or tenant representation made form applicable to tenant representation allows for a shorter, and I can't see what it says on the bottom. So next slide. Okay, again, some of the changes to the forms. Nothing significant with any of these forms, and very far and few and rare that you're going to see and utilize this. The seller contingency removal, they added the reference to seller confirming and the eligibility for VA loans. Next slide. Again, some of these phones you're not going to really use, but the fire hardening and the feasible space disclosure, they just added questions for low cost fire retrofits. They added a box to indicate the fire hardening questions and added language to the final inspection report concerns home hardening. Okay, next slide. The move in, inspection, and move out. Now, as part of the requirement, in April, they added instructions and a reminder to take photos of damage and repair items. So part of our due diligence when we're representing a buyer and the seller, or excuse me, a landlord and tenant, is to emphasize the importance of those move in and move out forms. Modification of terms. Go back one Nat, please. Modification of terms. They just clarify the extension begins on the date of modification. Next slide. Okay, again, some of these forms you'll probably never use. Next slide. Probate advisory clarification for smoke alarms is for statement of compliance. Next slide. I'm really looking at new forms. Next slide. All right, so the residential listing agreement, they added reference to short sales, listing addendums, and removed references to short sale information advisory. Added statements that seller broker will not confirm compensation between buyer and buyer's broker. And these references also through all of the other listing agreements, such as your commercial, your vacant land, and so on and so forth. And that includes similar to the open listing and the reserve listing as well. Next slide. On the RPA, removed on 3G3, buyer affirming concerning buyer representation agreement, and added language in 19D that escrow to follow compensation instruction to offset buyer payment, but the amounts seller pays. Advise in 18A that the buyer agent should not receive more compensation than specified on the buyer representation agreement. So what they added in the language is before it used to say seller concession, or excuse me, buyer concession. Now they added the language that's going to say that the concession is going towards the buyer's agent's broker. So they added that, so we specify that That's really the biggest changes that I saw in the RPA. Next slide. The seller advisory, state buyer and seller advisory, not really much changes to it. And then the seller counter offer as well. Mentioned delivery requires late acceptance, so part of it is, let's just say you're back and forth in negotiations, and we usually have an expiration date, right? 3 days. So what this does now, it will extend it if it's beyond that 3-day expiration date to revive the agreement if for whatever reason you go beyond that 3-day period. Next slide. Seller multiple counter offer, similar to the seller counter offer. And next slide. I think that's pretty much it. Nope, there's more. Again, some of these forms you'll probably never see. And again, we'll reference it and you'll get a copy of all this information for you to have. Next slide. Team agreements, I had a reference to need to have this post agreement written, added mentorship paragraph too as well, if you're mentoring an agent. Team agreement, exit agreements too. It's a new form that was added. If you're part of a team and you decide to exit and not be part of the team, there's a new form that was created for that purpose.
Question,
Yes.
why we'll do the tenants in common when we don't know how they're gonna vest?
Yeah, well, it's part of the forms. This is why you want to ask them, right? To consult what best way to vest. But tenancy incoming financial disclosure statement, it's geared more like if it's a type of seller finance, you utilize this particular form for that purpose. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, so vacant listing agreements, nothing significant changes. Again, nothing in these particular forms. Next slide. And disclosure modification to buyer, no significant changes to it. I believe, if I'm correct, I believe that these two forms are going to be removed from your zip forms. Okay, next slide. All right, any questions regarding any of these changes? A lot of stuff, right? It'll be a little overwhelming. Yeah. But again, we're going to have classes and, conversations around all this stuff. And then be on the lookout for the email sent out to you regarding all of the revisions as well. Okay, and I'm here to answer any questions you have as well. The other note that I wanted to share with you is about concessions and now putting that information on the MLS now, and I verified with CRMLS compliance that you can add on public remarks, seller will consider offering to a percentage concession as part of the term. So you can actually write it in public remarks. Okay. Now you cannot say anything in relations to agent, and maybe you can share some thoughts around this, because I know those were some of the conversations we were having in Long Beach. So on the MLS, there's a section that already says if the seller is willing to pay concessions, right? You either say yes or no, or you leave it blank, right? Neutral. Okay. Now, in ties with the buyer representation agreement, right, and the offer of the RPA under G3 is that it has to mirror and match what you have negotiated with the buyer, because at the end of the day, the buyer is responsible to pay you, right? We ask through the offer, right, if the seller is willing to pay us commission. So now under the MLS, when you have a listing under public, not private, public, you can put that language. Manny, do you want to add anything to that?
Can give you the verbiage,
Please.
unless you have it.
I do, but let's want to hear it from you.
You guys want to write it down.
Please write it down.
It's you know, it's a different twist of how it's been presented, and it's gonna help you to get more clarity, and, you know, clearly, if you're reaching out, instead of asking, that you know the concept, right? And this verbiage is mirroring basically the product 3G, the buyer contract that is asking for the same thing pretty much. And it reads, seller will consider offers asking for up to, for example, 2.5%. It's an example, can be 2, can be 3, whatever. But up to, that's it, 2.5% in concessions. If the purchase price and other terms offered by the buyer are acceptable to seller. It doesn't say commission. It doesn't say buyer's agent commission, it says concessions. Because the buyer's agent commission, if to be covered by, which are allowed to, by the seller, it falls under concessions, right?
That's
And
correct.
that's the one note, and you can expand on that, is that most agents don't fully understand what falls under concessions.
Correct. Yeah,
And the buyers too.
correct. Yeah, Farah?
In Farsi or in Hebrew?
Well, that's good news. So now we can actually put the language there that allows us to put a percentage up to, right? But it cannot say towards broker commissions, okay? It cannot say any of that. It has to be very neutral that the seller is offering concessions up to 2.5%, 2%, 3%, right?
And that could include cost and to.
Yeah, that could go to broker fees, request repairs, and buy down of the rate, all of that. So, and it's been a talk and a conversation for months and months, because we were trying to find the loophole to put that information in. For months, we would say, no, you can't, because CRMLS is gonna see it as a violation. So I verified, I confirmed with compliance, and I double check, and yes, it is perfectly okay to do so now, again.
And it's still not an issue if, you know, repairs come in, and obviously the concessions.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, you know, I think it's still the same feel of game is where you can, you know, still request repair requests and all that fun stuff, so. Good news or good news? Yeah, awesome. All right, well, let's wrap it up here. So upcoming events, next slide, please. All right, this Friday, June 6th, 10:30 to 11:30, notice to buyer to perform and notice to seller to perform. So we're gonna dive deep into the conversation. When to utilize it, a little strategy, and when you should be submitting the notice to perform. So be on the lookout this Friday in person, and also I record them on Zoom as well. Next slide. This Thursday, June 5th, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Round 2 of the photo. I know we had a great participation yesterday, so we're doing it again tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Next slide. And then John Morris is having a regional command training, Keller exclusive in command, Friday, June 6th at 1 p.m. So if you're interested in joining, please copy and take a photo of this so you can register for the training. Next slide. And just a friendly reminder for Father's Day, we're going to be doing a little cookout, so please join us. Next slide. And another friendly reminder, King of the Hill softball tournament is just around the corner next week on the 13th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. up at the Rolling Hills Estates. And I believe that concludes our team meeting. Next slide. All right, thanks everyone. Appreciate your time.